Hi everyone, it's Janis here with a new episode to help you build better daily structure and be in control of your life. Our brain has limitless potential, but in order to use its potential, we have to better understand how it works and how we can improve it. Today, we'll take a look at the John Medina's book called Brain Rules to learn the principles of surviving and thriving in our life. If this is your first time on this channel, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates on my latest videos on time management and productivity. Also consider joining my free productivity mastermind group where I do live coaching calls and live Q&As where you have a chance to ask me any questions. Our brain is a sophisticated information processing system, but in order for it to function properly, we have to ensure that we look after it. So let's take a look at some of the strategies that you can use to increase your brain's processing capacity. Number 1, your brain reacts to most important stimuli. It is important to understand that our brain will always react to the things that it believes to be the most important, but as we already know, that is not always the case. Imagine that you're working on your latest blog post. You've been focusing for an hour and your energy levels start to sink. For your brain, this kind of activity is not fun, as it requires a lot of mental energy, and then suddenly you hear the sound of a notification on your phone. Subconsciously, you already know that it is probably a distraction, and you should keep focusing on your blog post until it's completed. Unfortunately, your brain is not on your side, and it starts to generate thoughts like, what if it's something important? So you can't resist it but to pick up the phone. And we also know how that is usually ending up. A quick 1-minute reply to your friend turns into 20 minutes message exchange. And once you have your phone in your hands, you're also exposed to all different temptations to check out your email or even social media. This is a reason why removing all possible distractions is the key if you want to stay productive. Because if you leave your phone around, then your brain will make it as the most important activity. The brain's selective focus is not a bad thing. If the brain wouldn't be selective, we would be overwhelmed with the hundreds of thoughts at any given time and unable to focus on anything. To take advantage of the brain's selective focus, we have to make sure that we create an environment that allows us to focus on things that are most important for us. Number 2, our brain is continuously developing and evolving. When we are born, our brain is only partially constructed. The biggest development projects continue until early 20s, and at this point it starts to slow down. But that is not to say that development stops. Our brain keeps developing as long as we keep learning new things. People can learn in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Warren Buffett is currently 89 years old, and he still reads about 5 hours every day. So you have to make learning a daily habit, something that you do all the time and always look for new opportunities to do even more. When you go to conferences to listen to the talks, you should be using break times to meet new people and make new connections. When you're driving from work to home or from home to work, don't listen to the radio. Instead, listen to some audiobook or podcast to learn something new. If you want to watch something in the evening instead of watching the latest movie, you could watch autobiographies of successful people to learn new things. You have to be continuously expanding your thinking and learning new things if you want your brain to develop and evolve. Number 3, how we store and remember things. 19th century German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered that students usually forget about 90% of what has been learned in a class within 30 days. But he also proved that students were able to remember information much better when they repeated it over and over in regular intervals. Spaced intervals make your brain think that the information that you're repeating is important, and therefore your brain will remember it. Another strategy that you can use to remember information better is by attaching meaning or grouping the items. Sometimes your brain does it subconsciously, but sometimes we have to deliberately attach meaning to remember things better. For example, when you go to the gym, you know that you have to take water bottle, membership card, and towel with you. In this case, you don't think about each individual item, but instead you think about what you will need to work out in the gym. Number 4, exercise to increase your brain power. Exercise allows your body to get more energy out of the food that you eat. Therefore, exercise is highly recommended to increase your brain power. As your heart rate increases, during exercise, blood flow to the brain increases as well. As blood flow increases, your brain is exposed to more oxygen and nutrients. Exercise also induces the release of beneficial proteins in the brain. These nourishing proteins keep your brain cells healthy and promote the growth of new neurons. And don't get trapped into the thinking that you need to hit the gym 6 days a week. Any exercise that you will do will be better than doing nothing, but it's recommended to do some sort of exercise daily for 30 to 60 minutes. Number 5. Sleep benefits. Sleep is an incredibly important component if we want our brain to function to its full capacity. Sleep serves to re-energize the body cells, clear waste from the brain, and support learning and memory. A study examined a group of soldiers. Researchers kept the soldiers awake for one night and then asked them to take cognitive tests the following day. One night's sleep loss resulted in 30% loss in overall cognitive skills, where 2 sleepless nights resulted in 60% decrease. Another study showed that if people got only 6 hours or less sleep per night for 5 nights, their cognitive performance would decrease by 60%. So while it's important to get that one last thing done before your bedtime, it's much better to invest that time in a good sleep. Number 6. Stress. Stress is a secret killer when it comes to your productivity, because most of the time we don't feel its presence before it's already too late. Stress can come from different sources, and it might involve issues like health, money, and relationships. You should be managing your stress as much as possible, because stress can kill brain cells and even reduce the size of the brain. Remember that little stress can help you to take action, while too much stress has a negative effect on your brain and your overall health. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and by using these strategies, you'll be able to maximize your brain's potential and become more productive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you're new to this channel, then type new in the comments below. If you want to learn how to set better goals, make better decisions, and build solid structure in your life, then check out my free Productivity Mastermind course to take your productivity to the next level. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss my upcoming videos.